tick season. It's almost enough to make me want to move out of the Northeast. I don't know what's worse, the ticks or all the pesticides that are being used.
I agree. These are complicated decisions. It's all about understanding the relative risks and making informed choices.
But there's nothing beneficial about spraying your yard with a pesticide. They're just poisons.
Well, the decision to treat your yard is one that should be taken very seriously. There's both benefits and risks to using pesticide. When applied according to label directions, the relative risk is actually pretty low. Think about it. The amount of pesticide required to kill a tiny tick is way less than you would need to affect a human.
But if I have organic options like my own special blend and clove oil and things that I sprayed my yard with last year, and I had great benefits, no ticks at all, why can't I use those? I know I'm not giving my kids cancer, I know I'm not killing bees, and I'm protecting the environment.
That's great that you didn't find any ticks last year. It's possible that what you sprayed helped. It's also possible that you just didn't encounter a tick last year. Many products that are advertised as all natural or organic can break down rapidly in the environment, and they may not last very long. We also just don't have a lot of great evidence yet about how well they really work.
The organic and the natural products, though, they just seem safer still.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. The issue is that they may also be safe for ticks. We don't want people to feel a false sense of security and therefore not take other precautions like checking for ticks or wearing repellent. It's tricky because a lot of all natural products contain what we call minimum risk ingredients. Minimum risk pesticides aren't required to have EPA registration. EPA registration requires manufacturers to back up their tick killing claims with evidence about how well they really work.
If the products are safe, why do I see the little yellow signs posted along the yards that have been sprayed?
Well, we consider them safe because the risk of exposure is relatively low if you follow label directions. Pest control applicators, and even in some states, some homeowners are required to post flags to identify the yards that they've treated. These flags serve as reminders that you should wait until the product is fully dried before entering the area, generally 12 to 24 hours.
I worry about the kids playing at the yard edge after the product dries. And what about the dog running through the leaves?
So once the product is fully dried, it doesn't wipe off or wash off easily, and then it's safe for kids and pets to enter the area.
My biggest concern is the bees. Chemicals are killing them.
I'm worried about the bees too. We have a lot of concern for pollinators, and pesticides is one of them. Product labels do have directions to minimize exposure to bees. One thing you can do is spray early in the morning or in the evening when bees are not as active, and never spray directly on flowering plants.
Oh, and the well water. Will we be drinking this stuff?
Well, if applied correctly, most insecticides shouldn't reach your well. They dry quickly and bind to soil and vegetation, so leaching into wells isn't a major concern. But concerns about runoff into standing water, such as streams, wetlands, and other waterways, are valid. So you should spray at a safe distance from water to protect fish, aquatic insects, and crayfish. Even organic pesticides can be toxic to non-target organisms, so you should always understand and follow label directions before applying any pesticide.
Really? I still just don't like chemicals.
I understand, but even the caffeine in your coffee can be a dangerous chemical if not used properly. The salt on your table can be dangerous if you have too much, but you leave it on your table because you know the risks and how to use it properly. All chemicals, synthetic or natural, have some risks. That's why there are strict standards for using any pesticide.
I never really thought about the chemicals right in my kitchen.
Chemicals are an important part of our daily life. Without chemicals, we wouldn't have advances in public health or modern medicine. Fortunately, it takes relatively small amounts of an effective pesticide applied at the right time of year to control ticks. Applying too much or too often is a situation we want to avoid. Overspraying can put too much pesticide into the environment. In fact, too much pesticide in the environment can lead to pesticide-resistant ticks.
Ugh! Super ticks?
Look, if we could do nothing and be safe, I would tell people to do that. But the reality is, in the region where we live, ticks are here and risk for tick-borne disease is a real problem. And so it may be that there's a variety of tactics that people need to take, including personal protective measures, tick-safe landscaping, and yes, sometimes using a pesticide to control ticks in order to keep their families safe.
I'll think about that.